Hey everybody, how's it going? Today I'm going to talk about the new Sony A7S III. A lot of reviewers already have their hands on it. I don't actually have one, but I'm just going to talk about the specs and things that I know. So stick around and we'll have a conversation about it. If you want to take part in this conversation, have a discussion, leave a comment down below and we'll talk about it. And also like, subscribe, that would help me out a lot. And help this channel to gain a further reach for the YouTube algorithm, and I'll save all the hefty explanations. But just if you like it, like it. So here we are, I'm talking about the new A7S IIIs just around the corner, and there isn't an actual firm release date. They're saying around September 24th is the expected launch. B&H Photos and other places are taking advanced orders. So if you want to get an order in, I guess now would be a good time. I would check out the reviews thoroughly. A lot of people have pre-production cameras that they're looking at. Gerald Undone has a fantastic review. He seems to love it. It does look like the perfect camera right off the offset. It finally has a swivel screen, which is a great thing. One of the best things that I noticed was that the mic jack is above the swivel screen so that it will not get in the way of your view of what's on the LCD screen or turning it back and forth or anything like that. It's a great idea for placement. They seem to really keep moving up, they'll instead of going backwards, they keep moving forwards. A lot like Panasonic that way. Sony will make a great design implementation and keep it and move forward on that. So this is pretty much a complete redesign from the Sony A7S II from what I can gather. The color science is a lot better, has 15 stops or so they say. I think it's more a realistic 13 stops, but you know, you can work with that. 13 stops is a definite improvement. We're looking at 10-bit 4K 422 I mean. The extra 2 is just for too awesome, I guess. I don't know, but it's a pretty nice looking camera. It's 12.1 large pixel for extra sensitivity. It has like a duo ISO range type thing happening, although I don't think it explicitly says that. From some reviewers' reaction, it seems to just do it by itself without you having to set any duo ISO settings in the camera, like a GH5S or something like that, or a Blackmagic design. So it gets pretty high up there. I think the highest ISO was 409,000 and something. It was super high. It was like twice that of my GH5S. Very sensitive, like large frame. Obviously my GH5S is almost half the size of this. I love it though. I mean, I'm personally not going to complain about my GH5S. I mean, you can take any lens in the world pretty much and put it on this baby. And that's something you can't get on the Sony cameras, full frame cameras. You just can't put any frame you want on it. So, but I mean, all that aside, this looks like a really nice camera. I mean, there's a lot of features and implementations that a lot of people have been waiting for. A lot of people have always liked the Sony color science, or maybe it's a lack of color science in some respects, because they say it's a fairly neutral and normal or average looking. They say it reproduces color very faithfully, whereas Canon and Blackmagic Design and Panasonic try to give it a nice look. But some people like that about Sony, is how there's not really a look. It just looks like the way things look, I guess. That's what they say anyway. It's not oversaturated, there's not too much red or orange or, you know. So there's all that. Some of the best features are the new overhaul design, the sleek look. They kept the larger grip. And like I said, the mic jack placement is excellent. And also the inclusion of S-Log really helps out, especially with the 10-bit 422 video, giving you lots of room to play with color, to be able to push around things, showing lots of detail in the shadows and stuff like that. From some of the images I've seen, I think it's definitely comparable to Arri Alexa Mini or something like that. It's definitely one of the closer cameras you can get to a cinema camera of that caliber right out of the box without having to do much. the IBIS on this thing is vastly improved. It has 750 something, what was it, 750? Wow, it was a lot. Another great feature about it is the new Z battery, which Sony claims is up to 60% longer lasting than the predecessor, which I find amazing. But I don't know if a lot of people found that the old battery was really long lasting or not. I didn't actually have a Sony, so all I have are Canon digital SLR and my Panasonic GH5S. And so that I can't speak for my personal experience, but from what I've heard, it wasn't exactly the best battery, so this is definitely a helpful boost. Another great feature is the dual card slots that are either CFast or the SD card. And I think that's amazing because that's definitely a feature that's up on the Canon R5 in my opinion, because when I heard that the Canon R5 was going to have dual card slots, I kind of expected them or would have thought that they would have included 2 card slots that were the same, like in the R6. It seems kind of silly to not have thought of that, if you ask me, because backing up, especially with the overheating issues, which brings me to another great aspect of the Sony A7S III, all these like names and numbers, oh my God. But the lack of overheating. You can record indefinitely. Also with the dual card slots, you can hot swap cards. So you could basically keep going. This thing is also powered through USB-C connection as well, so you could take your cell phone battery charger or whichever charger you want, and that will take a USB-C connection, I guess, and you can just charge your camera indefinitely with that thing. You could use like a cell phone charger or whatever. So you could indefinitely record. It will not overheat. You can hot swap cards and you can just keep going. And also the new 4K 120, I mean, that's really what people really want, is a much higher frame rate 4K with high recording bit rates. Also the recording bit rates on this thing are phenomenal, like off the charts, just nuts. Like I forget how high though. I'm gonna have to put that on the screen down below my face, which I keep saying a lot in my videos, but it'll be right around here. So I mean, honestly, this looks like such a good camera. There's so many points. I've barely scratched the surface. Those are my favorite features on it. Well, how about you tell me your favorite features? Put them down below. I want to hear what you're excited about and read what you're excited about, because I won't actually hear it. I'll be reading it with my eyes. I don't hear things with my eyes, amazingly enough. But tell me if you can. And tell me what you think about this new Sony A7S III, and what if it sucks, or 12.1 not enough for you, or you'd rather have 8K or 6K. I mean, come on. I don't think, obviously 12.1 megapixel, they're not about to be doing 6K or 8K with this chip, but it will not overheat, and the colors and low light performance on this are amazing. And some people would rather have the 6K and 8K to be able to punch in, but I honestly feel like a lot of people are still shooting in HD, and to be able to punch in from 4K at 120 frames per second, mind you, with autofocus and everything, and some 700 and something autofocus points. Oh geez, and it's just mind-blowing. It looks like such a great camera. Although I'm not in any rush to go buy a new camera. If I was, this would be the one I would want. Full frame, mirrorless, non-overheating, dual card slots of your choice. Wow. Other companies should definitely take note. I can't wait to see what Panasonic's going to come out with. I have a feeling that they're just sitting in the wings, waiting their turn, and they're going to come out with something unbelievably awesome. I kind of feel like Sony and Canon and these guys are just catching up. The only thing that Panasonic really has to catch up on is the autofocus system. And once they got that, they're laughing. As you can see from my previous video, the autofocus, maybe I don't know how to use it the best. I'm really kind of old school the way where I like to set it in manual. I'm not really walking around and vlogging all the time. So right now I'm using my HF G40, which has an excellent autofocus system, but that's why I use this camera. I don't use my GH5S typically for this type of thing, because the autofocus isn't, you know, Panasonic GH5 and their digital, their mirrorless cameras are not well known for their autofocus, let's face it. But Sony is. Sony isn't known to be the best I would think that would fall into Canon's hands, but they've made some serious leaps and bounds, and they're able to maintain the autofocus and stuff at 120 frames per second with no overheating, like I said, doesn't stop, keep going. Battery charging, and oh man, I love it. 15 stops, or really 13 that's usable, because that's what they were saying about my GH5S too, is that it had 14 stops, but really 12 is used, like 12 typically or something like that. But you can get higher out of it if you really work with it and get some great lenses and do some stuff. So tell me what you think. Anyway, I'm just going on and on and on like a little kid in a candy store, imagining what it would be like to run through the Sony store with all these wonderful brand new mirrorless cameras that can record such beautifully sharp images that are much sharper than the previous versions. Oh, I'm gonna start drooling like the salivating dog I am. Oh, so just get back, let me know what you guys think, and I got more videos to make, so come on, like, subscribe, and support the YouTubers who need your support. Get back.